Hello, I'm Dan Dawkins for GamesRadar Plus. I'm joined by Susan Arndt, Managing Editor of GamesRadar Plus.
Hello.
And by Connor Sheridan, news writer, also for GamesRadar Plus.
Hello there.
Okay, and this is our nightly show, Who Won E3? As many of you would have seen last night, we meet every night of the show to debate the biggest moments from the show and basically rank those in an order. It's kind of supposed to be fun. Last night, it didn't work out quite so much fun. We backed Sony. We came out after the conference, we were high on the fumes of Shenmue and you know, all the great stuff they showed, right? It began with The Last Guardian, it ended with Uncharted 4 and an amazing car sequence, but no, people did not like that. So we've had a lot of comments overnight, 200 dislikes on the video, but 130 likes, so there are some likers to the haters. We thought we'd provide balance to the force in tonight's show, so we're going to read out some. We've had a lot of pro Xbox comments, including one from Revolver Row, I suspect that's not his real name, who says, the gaming community has gone to hell if timed exclusive and DLC win the show. He says, FF7 is going to be on both consoles, and The Last Guardian looked good, but hell no. Microsoft won this year, end of story. Yeah. And then Alex260993 says, Microsoft really impressed me this year. One of the best E3 presentations for them in ages, no cringeworthy dancing or singing, and all the right games. Well, of course.
That is entirely accurate.
Entirely correct.
Yeah, no,
right?
that is a very, very good analysis of that.
Absolutely right. And we didn't say otherwise, we just preferred some other things. Now, this is a really interesting point from Brickman409, who said, Sony had a pretty good show, but let's be honest, the three things you guys were most excited about were a remake, an advertisement for a Kickstarter project, and a trailer for a game that should have come out 5 years ago.
Again, entirely accurate.
And it doesn't stop me being very excited about them. I mean, completely accurate assessment, right? David Maloney said, well, actually this isn't that balanced. He said, Forza 6 showed nothing. Halo 5 looked the same as all the others. Gears of War 4 looked awful. The only thing that looked good was the Rare collection.
Okay, now see, that's just wrong on several different levels, which we will get to.
Yeah,
but yeah, no, that's way off.
That's harsh, but off base, right? Now, Nick Nicholson says, backwards compatibility, yes, great, but I've got an Xbox 360, and that is backward compatible already.
It's one of those things that sounds great, and then you think about it a little bit more, and it's just, wait, why didn't we already have this? Why am I getting excited about it?
It's not all of the games. It's just
yeah.
Okay, look. Backwards compatibility is great for all of those people who needed a compelling reason to get an Xbox One. Like, hey, I might want to play Titanfall, or I might want to play Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider when it comes out, but I still have my 360 and this amazing library of games. Oh, wait! Now you mean I can play them on the Xbox One? Why, thank you. You know, it's just, it made it easier for people to decide to upgrade to the Xbox One. Mm-hmm. And if that's literally all it does, it's a fantastic move.
I completely agree. I think it's a really cool move to say, hey, we're the console of value. Like, we're going to get more from us. And that's where Sony played its card 18 months ago, 2 years ago, to say, we care about you. Well, Microsoft's saying, we care about you as much. We're giving you that cuddle of value. So that was a really...
Cuddle of value.
Yes. And to make things even more balanced, we went out on the show floor today and spoke to loads of the gamers at E3. So let's just see now what real people, not just crazed journalists, have got to say about who's winning E3. Hey, who do you think is winning E3 so far?
Well, everyone seems to be saying Sony, but I'm going to have to say Microsoft still. They announced every exclusive that I want, so...
I'm gonna have to go with Sony. Microsoft I used to be Microsoft hardcore, and then I just had to switch over to Sony. Sony's killing it right now.
Bethesda with Fallout, definitely.
It has to be Sony. I mean, let's put it like this. E3 2015, as my friend calls it, it's the year of the Phoenix. We've got a lot of nostalgia titles that haven't come out that are actually coming out.
Sackboy, who's winning E3?
So far, my favorite game of the show would have to be Star Fox, and I think Nintendo's really winning.
I think Xbox is winning because they announced the backwards platforming, which I think is a giant, you know, because everybody wanted it when the Xbox One came out, because they were like, you put all the money into all these games and you want to play them still. So I think that's probably the winner so far for me.
I think everyone's winning right now because for the first time, no one really feels biased in one direction. Everyone's sort of like getting what they wanted. It seems like this is the throw-in where every company is like, you know what, everyone's asking for this, so we're just going to give it to you. So everyone seems to be walking away happy.
Okay, so as you can see, according to various people at the show, various different people won and various different games were liked. Who would have thought it? And there was even a correlation between the proximity to a particular stand and the type of game they liked.
Go figure.
I know,
the kind
insane.
of shirt they're wearing too, I heard, yeah.
That's you watch the footage back, you'll see it all there.
Truly remarkable.
Absolutely remarkable. So today we're going to talk about what's happened today, which in this case is the Nintendo conference. So that's why we omitted it yesterday, folks, so everyone who mentioned. And of course, to talk about the Square Enix conference. So let's start with Nintendo. As Nintendo said themselves, a year of transition. What do they show us today?
Well, first and most importantly, they showed us Muppets. It was an absolutely wonderful intro with Reggie, Mr. Iwata, and Shigeru Miyamoto all being transformed into Muppets, and they opened the show, and then they all transformed into characters from Star Fox as Muppets. And it was just a really delightful and very joyous kind of way to remind us, hey, wait, games are about fun. Let's all just take a step back for a minute. And then we saw some footage from the new Star Fox. Besides the Muppets, though, there wasn't a lot going on that we didn't already know about, of course. They showed a lot of Mario Maker, which looks great if you have the kind of artistic ability, which I do not. I do not have that at all.
Kind of a feel for what makes a good Mario level.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I know what it feels like to play a good Mario level, but to make one?
Mine would just be Karibo's shoe, just everywhere. That's all I would have.
Trampolines.
Yeah.
I like trampolines.
And bloopers, for no good reason, just because I find them funny. We saw a Mario Tennis game for Wii U, and we saw a lot of 3DS games. Hyrule Warriors is coming to 3DS.
Triforce Warriors.
Triforce Warriors, I'm sorry.
Oh, actually, they're both coming to 3DS.
That's right, yes. And the new Zelda game, the Triforce Warriors, which is kind of like, if you remember Four Swords from back in the day. It's very similar to that. You kind of team up with your friends, except it's only three of you this time.
Three swords now.
It's just three. Yeah. The fourth sword, he retired.
Yeah, it just wasn't working out.
He's a barista now at a Starbucks. So a lot of emphasis on 3DS, less so Wii U stuff. And nothing really that made anybody sort of stand up and shout. It was all, hey, cool. There's a new Animal Crossing game coming for Wii U, which looks like a party game, very much like Mario Party. Okay. I mean, I'll love it because I love Animal Crossing, but I'm not rushing out to pre-order.
Yeah. You have to remember that Nintendo has kind of been scaling back their E3 over the years.
Sure, true.
And there's been an ebb and a flow, and I think we're definitely at an ebb this year, because they specifically said a few months ago that Zelda Wii U would not be there.
Right.
And that would have been the big one.
Yeah.
And you could kind of tell that they were kind of filling in the edges otherwise. And yeah, it was an amusing show if you already liked Nintendo, but there was absolutely nothing there to make you say, I want to get a Wii U, I want to get a 3DS.
It was bringing no one across who wasn't already there.
Absolutely
Not at
true.
all.
Yes.
Not at all.
Yes.
Really good to serve its audience. I think next year, different conversation. Square Enix, now again, they probably showed most of their hand.
They did.
Yesterday. What did they show that was different?
The Project Setsuna, yes, which we saw very little of. Concept art, that's about it. Also, oddly and interestingly, the sequel to Nier.
Did not see that coming.
No, pretty great. They won't tell us the title. They're saving that for later. But Nier, for anybody who doesn't know already, is a kind of like a cult hit, a little niche, even as JRPGs go, or Japanese-style games go. So getting a sequel to that is kind of exciting and different and out of left field, and that's great.
And Platinum's making it.
And Platinum's making it, and then there was
this year.
That moment with the director of it and the mask.
It was kind of odd. Like, the whole presentation had been so staid and boring and placid that when this guy walks out and nobody mentions it.
No.
Nobody discusses it as if it's a faux pas. You're wondering,
or a gimmick or anything.
Did I fall asleep?
Like,
am I having a fever dream?
So, for anybody who didn't see it, he wore a mask that covered his entire head that was actually a character from the game, but looked very much like the moon from Majora's Mask. Or, no, Ocarina of Time.
Majora's Mask.
Majora's Mask, right. But just walks up, goes to the podium, does his bit.
A little bit muffled because of the mask.
Yeah.
Wearing a moon mask.
But plays it completely straight. Oh, yeah, hey, game. Yeah. Nobody mentions it. Everybody acts like, oh, yeah, it's just this guy. And you're watching it wondering, like, what is happening? It was a moment. It was a moment that will be remembered.
That's good. Well, we're talking, sadly, not weird or bad moments.
No.
Good ones.
No, it's one of those ones that, when you're looking back at the end of the year, you'll say, oh, remember when that guy came out in the moon mask?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I like those moments. I like.
Oh, absolutely.
I miss a Konami conference where you would get the gentle insanity of
Yes,
a Konami
exactly.
conference, and I like that.
As if they're from a different planet and they're just kind of dipping into our culture.
Kingdom Hearts 3 quickly. What did we see of that? How good did it look?
Awesome. I mean, it's just like, just put it in my veins right now. Could we just move along and just get to the part where we actually get to play the game? We got to see some folks from Disney talking about Tangled.
Yep. There will be a Tangled world.
There will be a Tangled world. So that's kind of cool, because Tangled is a very underrated movie. And the teacup attack is fantastic, and it's just, well, honestly, it's just more Kingdom Hearts. But that's great.
That's a good thing.
Do we want Kingdom Hearts to be a new and groundbreaking thing? No, we just want more Kingdom Hearts. Am I wrong about this?
I think everybody who's looking forward to Kingdom Hearts 3 wants more Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, Susan wants it hooked into her veins. Let's see if we can inject it into our current top 10.
Hey now!
Yeah, no expense spared.
Oh, there's a list!
That's a
yeah, I kind of wrote these earlier on, hence the slightly childish writing. This is our top 10 so far, as you've seen yesterday. Number 1, the FF7 remake.
All right.
Number 2 was the slightly ethereal Shenmue 3.
I literally cried.
Yeah.
I legit, I screamed and then cried when that happened.
See, I had tears. Number 4.
I have so many feelings about that.
It's just the music, and I thought I was prepared for it.
Yeah.
I was not prepared for it.
Because here's the thing. I've seen Star Wars games before, right? Because there have been plenty.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that's nice. It's a Star Wars game. But there's something about Battlefront that just does it so perfectly. When they were showing the footage of the Hoth battle and, coming into the AT-AT, and I was 8 years old again.
Yeah, it totally worked.
Yeah.
Now, is there anything on this list you look at and go, have you lost your mind? And is there anything that from yesterday you feel like has to be in? That's before we decide if anything today is going to make the list.
From yesterday.
And say it quickly, because there's so many fumes from this market. We'll all be dead in 5 minutes. So.
You're good. Okay.
I feel like Shenmue 3 is maybe a little high.
Oh, what? No.
For a Kickstarter?
No, stop it. Just stop it. No. I actually wouldn't put Uncharted 4 on there.
It felt underwhelming.
It's Uncharted.
I mean, it's great.
Yeah.
But here was a conference where, your old childhood dreams are coming true, and then it's like, well, here's Nate and Sully in a Jeep. I'm still going to buy that game.
I was not impressed by what they showed. I mean, okay, yes, it's gorgeous. I will play it. I love Uncharted. I love those characters. The story's always great. Yeah. We're not arguing that point. But what they showed was just so contrived. And it didn't feel good. It didn't feel adventurous. It felt like a video game. And that put me off. I have no doubt that the complete game will be awesome. Like, I will love it. It'll be the half tuck. It's there. Fine. Wonderful. Visually gorgeous. I don't think.
Well, hey, look, we maybe that will come off the list. The Xbox fans watching might be really pleased about that, like we struck a blow. Or you might, decide to comment and say, have Susan and Connor lost their collective minds? We'll find out. So, Uncharted 4, we're question marking. Just quickly, is there anything that we want to throw in before we decide if something's coming in today?
I don't know. That's all really good stuff. Although, is it really fair to have Andromeda on there because we hardly saw anything? I mean, what we like.
Not like we saw like the full game of Shenmue, right?
You just shut your mouth. Look.
And then we saw 30 seconds
It's all about
of whatever
feelings.
Final Fantasy VII
It's
remake
about the
is.
dream, right?
Well, exactly. Just
yeah.
the possibility that I will finally get to play Shenmue 3 is enough to have it on the list. Andromeda, again, I'm a huge Mass Effect fan, and I got feels when the N7 logo, like he walks forward, and yes, that's all I really need. I'm not going to lie. But all that really did was, hey, yes, the game exists.
Well, we already knew the game exists.
I know. We knew that from last year.
But the fact that we've actually taken a look at this and kind of established that we're going to a new galaxy, you know, it gets you thinking, how does this tie in with the events of Mass Effect 3? Does it take place parallel? Does it take place afterwards? You know, it kind of gets you excited for that new exploration. I think they did a good job for, you know, a minute and a half of canned CGI footage of kind of giving you a feel for what they're going with this game. I don't think it goes higher than 7. But I think 7 is a good spot for it.
But I would swap that out with No Man's Sky. Because that is, I mean, when he pulled out and every single point of light is a sun, and every sun has a you know, a planetary system around it, and you can go to all of them, and they all have stuff, and there's so much stuff in it. There's stuff in the game people literally might never see, and it's gorgeous and interesting and different and innovative.
And again, I would argue seeing more of No Man's Sky kind of killed my thrill for it.
Really?
I went, wow, in blunt reality, it's like, what's going to be the abiding mechanic that pulls you through? Because it's just 7 billion randomly generated worlds.
Yeah.
And if each of them you just end up shooting plants off while the Robo-Men chase you, like, maybe that's not so good after all. I mean, again, this is for debate, right? I'm not hearing anything I think that's going to thunderbolt into the top 10.
How is Fallout 4 not on there? What is
This is a good story. Do you know why it's not?
Why?
Because when we were flipping the sheets yesterday, it got stuck in a crease and we forgot about it.
Well, these things happen.
Yeah, we're almost out of time. We can't really top that. Is there anything today that's got to go in? Like, honestly.
Okay, just from today?
Yeah.
No.
There's not, is there?
No.
Yeah, the biggest announcement was just, what?
The Amiibo. The Amiibo Skylanders crossover.
Or a new Nier for the 200 people that played Nier.
Yeah, bless your heart if you like Nier. Really.
I don't see anything.
Let's end on this. So near, but so far.
I don't even stop it.
I know, I'm sorry.
I can't.
I'm sorry, we're ending on that. And we literally have to end because it could be the end of my professional career, if there ever was one. So yeah, join us tomorrow for another episode of the show you all love to hate. Who Won E3, and also through an informative series of hands-on and insight on the channel, and also look out for GamesRadar.com for every bit of coverage you need. See you tomorrow. Cheers, guys.
Bye.
Thanks for having us.